大家好，我是香港澳星移民的 Mango。如今，境外投资已经成为越来越多高净值人士的刚性需求，资产配置国际化已经成为一种趋势。在众多的这种海外投资当中呢，投资房产一直是很多投资人的首选。今年年初，新冠疫情席卷全球，各行各业都受到了极大的冲击。海外房产的价值的波动也在加大。在疫情之前就投资了海外房产的朋友，有不少已经陷入了恐慌当中。他们会担心，我买的房产会不会因为疫情导致价格缩水？而那些正打算购置海外房产的朋友也在犹豫，现在去购买海外房产到底是挑战还是机遇？这一次，我们专门邀请到澳大利亚的专业评估行 Diamonds Property Consultancy 的专业注册评估师来给大家讲解疫情对房产投资有何影响。
Alright, Stuart, just quickly look, I guess one of those important things that we wanted to get our head around at the moment is, what's your opinion of this current pandemic? And how do you think it is it going to have a short-term, long-term effect on prices? And how do you do your valuations in accordance with what's going on in the market at the moment?
Okay. A professional valuer, a qualified valuer, has to be a member of the Australian Property Institute.
Yep.
It has to be comply with COVID requirements. There are new requirements under COVID, and every valuation issued has clauses to that effect. It is somewhat more difficult for valuers to operate in this climate, and the tendency is for valuers to in my opinion, it should be more conservative in this climate rather than optimistic, particularly as most of the impact of COVID for the average person is going to be negative rather than positive. However, there are plenty of cases of positive situations caused by COVID-19. One of them is that there's a tendency to operate from home, and so people are spending more money on their homes, particularly renovations at the present time. Mm-hmm. But it will need to, if the COVID-19 protocols are retained indefinitely, it will mean that instead of people wanting a 3-bedroom home, they may demand a 4-bedroom home.
Okay.
So there are changes occurring. There's also something that I call, and has been called by the newspapers, the golden circle. And that is a circle up to 2.5 hours distant from the CBD, Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, and so on, where people are prepared to live now, because they know that they're only going to go to the head office or the city office maybe 1 day in 5, maybe 2 days in 5, and so they can work from at home.
So because more flexible working hours, they can be further away from the city.
Exactly right. And this has led to an expansion and a change. I wondered for a long time how long you could poke a young family into a 2-bedroom unit in the city. Now they can move out to a 4-bedroom house.
And don't need to come to the city every day for work.
No. So the whole thing is changed. But knowing that if you have a young family and you're at home, there may be different problems. I know everybody's saying right now, I'm much more productive from at home. But I don't think that will be a long-term thought unless the person working from home has got an independent space. Mm-hmm. Because if you've got young children running around, you won't be as efficient. You can't be.
Okay.
And if your wife says to you, oh, look, can you put out the rubbish and can you do this and do that? It all of a sudden breaks down. So I'm not totally convinced that that's a long-term trend, but it's a medium-term trend at the present time.
Okay, all right, that's interesting.
A four-bedroom house on the outskirts of Sydney can still be purchased for the price of a two-bedroom unit in a medium-distance suburb. Medium-distance suburb two-bedroom unit might be up to $1 million. You can still get a four-bedroom house on the outskirts.
Okay. Look, I guess to wrap up, given the COVID situation we're in at the moment, what's your opinion on residential prices? I guess.
Okay, well, I'll split it into a few. Residential is, to me, it's residential land.
Yep.
The land can be either subdivision for single homes or duplexes or something like that, or it can be a site that might be medium density, and then it may have a development that might be 6, 10, 20, 50, 100,000 units, who knows. In a single development. The value of land is what the investor should really focus on rather than looking at the improvements. And most people focus on the improvements rather than looking at the land. Much to the, I looked at what was happening in Mascot, for instance. I was living at the time in Alexandria, and I said, this is madness, because I knew that underneath that land is water. There's a water table. And I said, how can we put all of these massive buildings over this water table? Something's going to go wrong.
And has it?
Absolutely. We're going to have to demolish some of those buildings.
Right.
The 12-storey, 16-storey buildings will have to be demolished. And there's major litigation here.
Right, okay, so...
And occurring.
That's interesting. And what about general house prices?
General house prices really are split in my mind at the present time. Medium, high-priced homes really dependent on wealthy people getting wealthier, or wealthier people continuing to come to this country, wanting to come here. I think, as a result of the COVID situation, I think if they opened the doors to people, wealthy people from around the world, there would be millions of them who want to come right now. So there's an underlying strong demand for luxury property. When and if the government opens the doors again, I don't know. We know that airplanes are not flying internationally in any significant numbers, so I guess it's limited.
So do you think that really any impact from the pandemic on residential prices, do you think will be short-lived? Because once the borders open up and once the economy starts to get kick-start again, people are going to rush back into property and have that confidence.
I'm not as negative as a lot of people are.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of people are saying that's the finish of it, home unit buildings and things like that. I don't think so. But the one thing for sure, we're living in a situation of rapid change, and rapid changing, the situation is changing rapidly for all sorts of people.
So
with domestic housing though, strongly recommended. And I would say to people generally, if you can find a 3 or 4 bedroom home on a decent block of land, go out and buy.
Okay, excellent. All right, Stuart, thanks for your time.
今天关于疫情对海外房产投资有何影响，我们就先讲到这里。关于海外投资，如果您有任何的疑问，欢迎跟我们联系，联系方式请见屏幕下方。